In today's story, I almost got expelled from my old high school because I accidentally got something showing up on my computer screen during computer class, and it was... Nah, I'm not gonna spoil it for you guys. Make sure to watch till the end so you will know what it is. And without further ado, hello everyone, welcome back to the Rutch channel, and I hope you're having a great day so far. Make sure to subscribe to the channel with notifications on so you never miss my uploads, and let's dive into the story. Because today's story is definitely one of my most embarrassing ones, apart from the one where I literally took a big dump in my pants when I was 12, right outside of my house. Make sure to watch that one too, because it's also very juicy. And oh my lord, where to begin with this one? So when I was 12 years old, I was quite a happy kid. I mean, I had a great class in high school, and I had a small group of friends with whom I could hang out during lunch breaks pretty well. Like, our class was so nice and we were so quiet all the time that teachers were always just super surprised. Like, it was so bad that the teachers literally had to tell us to talk because they were creeped out by the fact that we were so incredibly quiet. And nothing much happened that year in terms of drama, and because of that, nothing really interesting happened. But on the contrary, the next class I had 1 year later was absolutely horrible. From day one, since I started the school year, there was a guy in my class who was always bored and started to randomly make weird noises and crack jokes while the teachers were still somewhat trying to teach us miserable teenagers something. There was a guy who never did his homework and always got punished for it. There was a girl who was already on her 6th boyfriend, and she was literally 13 years old, mind you. This was all when we were 13 years old. There were multiple people who always tried to bully some teachers. So long story short, this class was absolutely terrible. So one day my homeroom teacher decided that it was a pretty good idea to give everybody a new seat in the classroom in order to kind of restore some order. And I must admit, that was pretty much the worst decision she could have made, because ever since that moment my life became so much worse. And my homeroom teacher was a really nice lady, but she didn't know how to keep her class silent, and she was so incredibly bad at keeping order. Back to that decision, because of that, I now had to sit next to a guy that was an incredible piece of work. Like, that boy was literally a sociopath, and I was a naive, serious and well-mannered gentleman at 13 years of age, had to sit next to Satan himself. So eventually we started hating each other so much that things got really tense between us. Like, I'm telling you, the first thing he did when he knew that I was going to sit next to him was literally write down my name on a small piece of paper and writing, and I quote, "Shut your mouth" behind it, which was obviously totally uncalled for. Like, I must admit, I wasn't really the strongest people in my class in terms of physical appearance. Like, I used to be pretty fat when I was 13 years old, and that dude sitting next to me was really thin and basically really skimpy, I would say. So he wasn't really physically bullying me, but it was pretty much always the mental bullying, I could say. So one time I decided that I was going to pay him back somehow for his horrible behavior. And you know, he always used to put his foot between my and his table, and it always drove me crazy that there was a gap between our tables. I guess it's kind of a type of OCD that I had at that point. So I was thinking to myself, you know what, if he does that again, I am literally going to hurt him or something. And believe me, I was an incredibly patient person up until that point. So as expected, one day, I think it was during the math lesson, he did that foot thing again and I just snapped. So I grabbed my pen and I stabbed him in his hand so hard that he literally had a hole in his hand and he was squirming from the pain. And that made me kind of happy, because to me, it felt that all of his mental pain that he was inflicting on me was finally going to manifest in that one moment of me paying him back with the glorious speed of my pen, thrusting through his skin on his arm and his agonizing squeaking of pain. And at that moment, to my surprise, he didn't do anything bad. Like, I actually expected him to fight me or stab me back with his pen or something like that. But I realized that he didn't, and that was probably scared of me, and I could literally just sit on him and kill him with my weight and fatness. Or so he thought. However, he obviously wanted to pay me back for it. I knew that he wanted to, because he is obviously evil, and I actually remember, now that I tell the story, that I watched that one South Park episode where Cartman got his payback literally by feeding a poor guy his own parents. So that made me extra cautious. However, that is exactly what happened. The guy was plotting something, and it involves hacking the school computers. You see, back when I was 13 years old, our school computers weren't well secured. Not all of them, that is. Because we had one computer lab, you could say, where pretty much all computers were literally from the year 2000 or something. Like, those computers were ancient. However, I must admit that I also had those amazing and satisfying IBM keyboards attached to them. I don't know if anyone knows those keyboards, but they make this incredible and satisfying click when you type something on them. But anyways, that is kind of off topic and besides the point. One day, the guy was sitting next to one of his friends when we had a computer lesson, and he actually was looking up online how to hack a Coca-Cola machine by pressing a code in them. And what do you know? He actually succeeded one time in hacking one of those machines, and he got like 4 bottles of Coke instead of 1. So he pretty much stole 3 bottles of Coke from that machine. And at that point, I was still pretty impressed of him because he wasn't a douche back then, and I didn't really know him that well. So fast forward, we are sitting in the computer lab, and I noticed one lesson before the current one that he opened the command prompt program on his computer and literally shut down the computer of another dude remotely right in the middle of class. Now, how was that possible, you may ask? Well, because the security of the old computers was so bad, and because the old PCs were all on the same network, you could literally type in the command center of the computer something like /turn off PC number 25 enter or something like that, and it actually worked. But I don't know that it was also possible to literally open something on your computer and hijack it. So what do you think happened next? It was already kind of suspicious that he wasn't sitting next to me that lesson, because our teacher assigned us a fixed spot in the computer lab. And all of that, you know, sitting on another spot was all part of his plan. You see, his plan was to hack into my computer and open a certain website that contained images that were, let's say, only for adults. And if that wasn't bad enough, ladies and gentlemen, it was one of those websites that you can't even click off. Like, it was a website that had so many pop-ups. If you clicked on one of the cross button in the top right corner of the screen, a new pop-up would literally open. And the only way to shut this website down was to shut your own computer down. The whole system. It was that bad. So during that lesson, that little actually did that right when the teacher was walking behind me, and at that moment my world just completely caved in. Half of the class saw it happening, and at that moment I just wanted to disappear forever and ever. I was so damn embarrassed, but that wasn't even the worst part of it. Apparently the system administrator of our school, he was kind of an old pervy dude. You know, he had the flannel shirt on, the small frame glasses. He was kind of like a Discord mod, you could say, and also probably still a virgin at 45 years old. So this man immediately, like I would say within 25 seconds of that happening to me, burst into the computer lab, and because everyone was laughing and I had both of my hands in front of my face and my teacher was looking right at my screen from behind me, he immediately knew that it was me who put the supposed adult 18+ content on my screen. So at that point, the teacher sent me to the school principal, and oh my god, I almost got suspended because at first the principal thought that I did it on purpose, but I quickly told him that I was totally innocent and that another guy, you know, that son of a bitch I was talking about, set me up and actually hacked my own computer. Luckily for me, he believed me and I told him to check the computer of the other guy, but for some reason there was no evidence of that, so we both just got a warning for that. I was so pissed at that point because I thought that the other little bitch boy was gonna get suspended, but sadly he wasn't. Luckily, the next year I was in another class and he was also in another class, so I never really spoke to him ever again. But anyways, I really do hope that you enjoyed this story. It's a wild one for sure. Comment down below what you thought of it and I will definitely heart your comment. Maybe you will get the achievement of top commenter on this channel so you can boast about it with your friends. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you are brand new around here. Make sure to check out the other stories. They are all showing up on the screen right now in the list. And ladies and gentlemen, I will see you in another one of my videos. Peace out and have a good day.